Alright YouTube, it's Sunday, June 29th, and as you can see, I've had a little bit of change of plans, and I'm so glad I decided to go ahead and do this. As you know, I was already starting my body work on the floor and all that stuff, and one thing I kind of forgot about, which I can't believe I forgot about it, is before you get all your body work done, you need to make sure your parts fit right. So I decided, actually I was thinking about Thursday at work, it's like, you know, before I go too far with this bed, I better get it on the truck and test fit it. It is a junkyard bed. It had a lot of dents in it. You've seen my past earlier videos from like a year ago where I pulled some huge dents out of this thing on the other side. It was caved in here, and I thought I better test fit it, because that would really kind of suck if you get it all, the body work done, painted and looking decent, and it doesn't fit. And plus, this is an 88 bed, and I was a little concerned about that, because usually they'll list, when they list truck parts for these, it's like 92 to 97, and then they'll say, I don't know, 87 to 91. But actually the body lines are the same, which is a good thing. I am finding some issues. I thought maybe the bed was twisted. See, Friday night, I put this on after work. I had to pretty much stop as soon as I got sit on the truck. I couldn't even get some bolts in it because it started raining, and as you know, half the truck was sticking outside, so I got it inside. Yesterday I was going to do a ride run which started at 10 a.m. That didn't happen, so at least the Trino got washed up and covered up, but that didn't happen because it started raining early yesterday, and I decided not to go even though the sun popped out after I got to work. But what I did yesterday, I went up, hunted up some boats. I ended up going to Lowe's and just getting carriage boats. There's one of them right there. They will work fine. I couldn't find original replacement boats for this, which look like, if I can find it, I will show you what it looks like. No, I can't find it. Alright, I paused the camera. Here is what the original boats look like. Unless I went to a junkyard, which I didn't really want to do, because usually when you go to a junkyard to get bed boats, 9 times out of 10, they're so rusty you got to cut them anyway. So, and I could not find these anywhere. And see, I can't pull that one out, it's got a nut on it. So does that one. Maybe I can show you. Hold up. If I can get this nut off real quick, I'll show you why they're shaped that way. There we go. Like that. So you can see how it's slotted like that. The two rear ones and the two front ones are shaped like that, and I can't find these anywhere, which it's not really that big a deal. These, even though they are more likely to spin on you, they will still work. I mean, these are stainless steel, plenty strong, more than strong enough to do that. So I had to get those, and if you can find these somewhere, let me know. It might be good to know for future wrench reference. If you can buy them new, one thing I can think of is keep your eye on eBay and for some good used ones. And if anybody's got these laying around and you don't need them, I suggest you put them on eBay. You'll probably sell them pretty quick, and maybe even get a decent price out of them, because as far as I know, you can't get them new. If someone knows where you can get them new, let me know, because I want to know for future references, even if I don't use them on this project. But like I was saying, I found some issues. At least one thing, that I thought the bed was twisted because of this right here. As you can see, I got a sizable gap right here. That's about 1.5 inches. And if you go to the other side, it's like 1 inch. And last night, I mean, I just wore myself out trying. I mean, I would stick just one bolt in and try twisting the bed around, moving it, shifting it, catty-cornered, side to side, and all that, but I could not get those gaps even. The bolts just won't allow it, and I thought about actually elongating a hose, which I still may do. And another issue I have, which I know how I'm going to fix once I get this bed on straight, I may have to live with this gap. because I looked online last night. I didn't get back in the house till about 11:30, and I was frustrated. It's like, man, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to do some major metal work to this bed, which it's not that it can't be done. I just wasn't expecting to do it. And believe me, I will eventually get it. I always overcome stuff like this. But another thing, like I was saying, I kind of got off the subject. I was online about 11:30 last night, and I just typed in a search, bed gap between cab and bed on F-250 Ford, and there were several forums where guys were saying, hey, I got a wider gap on the driver's side than the passenger side, and there's pretty much the same difference, about a ½ inch. Some guys are saying 3/4 of an inch, and some people were saying, well, hey, I've had my truck for 19 years, and I just went out and looked at it, and it's the same way. I never noticed it before, so I may have to live with that. So I'm going to try some things with that first, but my main concern, as you can see, the bed is sticking out past the cab here, and the bed is actually, I measured from this corner to the other side, this corner right here, taped a tape measure to it, and this bed is 3/8 of an inch wider than my original bed, which isn't surprising because Ford made probably millions of these beds, and they're not all going to be exact. I mean, this bed's off an 88 too, so, and this truck is a 94, so maybe something got changed in production. They're supposed to be the same bed, but something got changed, and as you can see, it's sticking out here, but that's not too awful bad. I got that centered up pretty evenly, and this cab isn't exactly flat. They're not supposed to be. They're oval shaped. If you lay a big straight edge on that bed, it goes out like that too. So this side I've got looking pretty good. It's right here. It's not bad. Right about there it starts to touch the cab. This could stand to come out. Now the other side is where I'm going to have to do some metal work. Probably won't be that bad. I want to get the gap fixed first if I can. But this side, as you can see, it's sticking out about the same right here, and then it's way out here, and it progressively gets worse. And I have a solution to that problem, but I want to fix that gap first if I can. Like I said, just repeating myself. And what I can do here is, this is spot welded. You can see the panel wraps around right here. I don't know how well you can see with the camera, but where my finger is the edge of the flange for this whole bed side. I can drill these spot welds out, slide this in, and re-weld it. And I don't know if you can see without a light, so let me grab my light. I have plenty of room, is what I'm wanting to show you, to do that. If you can see, let me zoom the camera in here. Let it focus, and you can, hopefully you can see. Well, let me crawl under this so I can point. Maybe you won't know what I'm looking at. But right here is the edge of the panel that the actual whole bedside welds to. As you can see, I got all this room. I could slide this thing in nearly a ½ of an inch if I had to, which I won't. So that can be fixed. If I can get that gap looking right, this will be straighter than your average original Ford is. Now, not all Fords have this difference in gap. Some people say theirs are perfectly even. And, of course, some people would say the simple solution to that gap would be to elongate the hose in the frame and twist the bed around. But what you do have to watch, if I have to twist this bed, like, say, this way, you have to be careful about getting the rear end cocked over too much and having the truck look like it's been wrecked or bent. But as of right now, it's pretty straight. It looks like it goes in like this, and it does. Not only looks, but this side's pretty close to the same way, because these beds aren't perfectly flat. They have a slight bow. Now the bed sat up here. Now this right here has a bow, and that's where it really shows it. But if you show just that, this part here is pretty straight, so I can go off of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some shifting around. I will probably end up taking a string, tying it or taping it to the same point on both sides, and I will run it all the way down to the bed, and that will help me know that my bed isn't on extremely crooked to where if someone's driving behind me, they're saying, oh my God, what happened to that truck? I don't want that. So when you're lining up just gaps and body lines on your bed and cab, always remember that if you get it cocked over too much, you might be screwing up the look from the rear. So I'm going to try some things. I got a few ideas. I'm not even going to say what it is till I try it and I see something that works, and then I'll show you what I did, just to save video time and all that. But anyway, bed's on it, starting to look like a truck. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to pause the camera. Alright, now it's going to start to get a little interesting here. If I can get this figured out, this will make a great video that might be really helpful, and this is going to help me learn a lot for future projects too. But I've got the string tied off to this door hinge bolt, which lines up pretty much perfect with that body line, and I've got it drawn tight, tied off to the tailgate striker bolt. And on this side, what this is doing, like I explained before, if it didn't make any sense, well, you can see it now, it's determining on how straight the bed is actually on the truck, meaning is it aligned with the cab is what I'm trying to say. And what I'm going by, checking both sides of course, the string is starting to touch the cab right about there. Okay, we'll lay something up there so when I go to the other side, got a reference. And on this side, yeah, we're starting to touch right about here. Okay, so that tells me, which makes sense, the wide gap's over there. We need to pull this bed over this way. So I'm going to try a few things. I've got a few ideas. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you until I try it and it works, and I'll tell you what I did. Alright, after a couple hours of struggling and pulling and prying and loosening bolts and saying WTF a couple times, we made a big improvement. We still got some work to do, but I've closed this gap on this side down to about, get this tape measure, this gap is about, I'm trying to kind of eyeball on the tape measure with the actual, this part of the bed where it starts to go flat, or the cab rather. I'm getting about 1 3/8, and the other side is about 1 1/4. So that's only an 1/8 inch difference. Maybe more like 1 1/8. Yeah, 1 1/8. So, well, no, it's a little bit more. It's more like 1 3/16. So we're a little bit more than an 1/8 inch difference, but that's a big improvement on, and that's with the gap. And let me show you what I had to do that. I went ahead and put all 4 bolts in each corner of the bed. I didn't worry about the middles. Didn't tighten the nuts down so I could move it around, and I ended up moving the cab. Let's see, probably be easier to show you if I stand behind it. What I ended up doing, I ended up moving the cab like that, and that kind of brought this corner of the cab closer that away, and that corner of the cab away from the bed, and then I was able to move the bed around, align it, and get that. And to move the cab, there's 4 bolts in a cab, of course, one on this side and that side. Here's this one. I did not loosen the one on the passenger side because I wanted the bed to swing around. So I loosened this one. You got to take, if I can find my, here it is. You got to take this rubber plug off, and there is a bolt down in there. I don't know how well you can see that. Probably not in the dark. I'm leaning on my string here. That's not a good thing. Let me grab my light. Wherever it is, there it is, right there. I just want to show you where the bolt is down there. You can loosen it from inside the cab. And there it is. Yeah, you can see it now, right there. It's a 18 millimeter. The original one is. And you don't. And I didn't have to put a wrench or anything on the bottom side because that nut is welded to that washer, which is kind of glued to that rubber. So I loosened that one and the two rear ones. Let me show you where the rear ones are. These are actually 8th grade American bolts because I replaced them when I put the urethane bushings in the rear. I didn't do the fronts because my bushing kit didn't match. But you just loosen this one and that one, and I was able to take a pry bar up underneath here on the passenger side. I just stuck a block of wood right here, and I took my pry bar, which is, I don't know where it went, not really that important. But anyway, you get the picture. I took my pry bar up against a piece of wood and just shifted the cab over. And then I wiggled the bed around, got all the bolts tight, and the end result is the gap's a lot closer now. Basically what we succeeded in doing is making the gap wider on the other side. I'm okay with that as long as they're both close to being even. And another comparison, there's that. And the passenger side. I think it looks a lot better. Hopefully my camera angle made it look even. And it is pretty close. Now, we still have work to do. As you can see, let me find some sort of straight edge. Well, this won't hurt anything. It's not too dirty. As you can see, this is sticking way out. I'm going to have to drill some spot welds and push this in and re-weld it back together. And the lower it goes, the closer it gets. Actually, down here, it's not bad. It's pretty darn close to where I want it. Vertically, they look pretty darn good. Both lines do, which kind of amazes me. Actually, down here, it looks good. And then it slowly, so I'm hoping from about here up, I can remove these spot welds, push it in, screw it together, and weld it back. And I'm debating on whether to drill these spot welds, which means I'll have to remove the bed again to do it. I would like to get this lined up with it bolted on, because that's going to be a lot of extra work. I'll have to remove the bed, break it loose, put the bed back on, realign it, and then locate it. But and I'm debating on whether I should drill these spot welds out, or if you look inside of the bed, drop in here, you see these spot welds right here. These spot weld a plate which welds to this whole big panel here, which attaches this bedside to it. I'm thinking if I can drill those out, I can just slide this over, mounting plate assembly and all. Now we'll probably have to cut this loose up here because that is spot welded to this right here. So I'm going to try to do it without removing the bed and having to put it back on, realign it, just to get all that. And the other side looks pretty darn good. Yeah, that's not bad. It's sticking out a little bit. No, that's not bad at all. I can live with that. I mean, I can be a perfectionist. If you see, yeah, look at that. That's really good. Even up top, that's not bad at all. Down here it's a little high on this body line and this one. I'm going to swing that in. It's basically from here down, so I should be able to drill these spot welds from the inside. I'll have to get it up under the truck, but just drill them out from in here, and I should be able to push that in. And I know it sounds like a lot of trouble just to line up body panels. You gotta remember, this is a junkyard bed, and this is an 88 bed. This is a 94. It's not that they're not supposed to fit, but how many years is that? That's 6 years difference. A lot of things can happen in a factory in 6 years, and stamping dies and fixtures get moved and changed by engineers for absolutely no reason. I know that for a fact because I work in a manufacturing plant. But anyway, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm going to do. I'm so glad I test fitted this bed before I finished the body work. I almost forgot about it, and I would rather almost screw up than to really screw up. So you live and you learn. We learned a big lesson here. It didn't cost us too much time. It didn't cost me any work. I think what little work I have done to the bottom of the bed is not going to be hurt by all these changes. But it really would have sucked. Oops, got bad lighting here. It really would have sucked if I'd have went ahead and done the body work, painted this, and tried to put it on and found all that. I'd have been very ticked off. Anyway, I'm going to call this a video, and I'm going to keep you updated on this. I'm going to go ahead and drill these spot welds out today, and I may film it for the next video. And I'll just give you a play-by-play and show you what it takes to get this old bed lined up. And after we get the front lined up, we got to test fit the tailgate. So thanks for watching. Remember to rate, subscribe, give me good comments. Negatives, meh, I don't care about you. If you want to give me a negative, give me a negative. It is what it is. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all my new subscribers. I've been getting a few here every week. Thanks a lot.